The secret's out, the cat's out of the bag. We went with a ULA Ohm 2.0 for our new backpack in 2022. And today we're going to do our full review of said backpack. We're going to talk about all the features and specs, all of the different options when it comes to ordering. You know, these are fully customizable backpacks. Like we'll talk about later in the video, you can literally pick every individual panel piece color if you want to. We're going to talk about things I love about the pack. And at the end, we're going to talk about a couple things that I would change about it if I was going to order another one. So let's just dive on in. The Ohm 2.0 is a fully framed backpack. You know, it does have a carbon fiber hoop suspension that runs on the inside. It's a 1.2 ounce carbon fiber hoop, so you can feel it here at the bottom, and it transfers weight really well down to the hip belt. Total load capacity for the Ohm 2.0 is suggested to be 30 pounds. The total carry capacity of the Ohm 2.0 is 60 liters. Now that 60 liters is all of the pockets all together. So that is the main pocket of the pack, the stretchy mesh pocket on the back, the two massive water bottle pockets on either side, and the hip belt pockets. Weights on the pack are going to differ because, you know, you're going to have different torso lengths and different hip belt sizes and possibly different add-ons and maybe even different materials that you're going to add to the pack. Mine weighs in at 33 ounces, and that is with the large torso length and the small hip belt size. And the fabric options that I went with my own backpack, I went with just the standard 400 Robic. I went with it in the royal blue and the black. I just think it looks ridiculously sharp, and that's what I really liked. And then I also obviously got the custom embroidery at the top. That is another custom option when you go through your ordering process. You can go with a whole bunch of different color options. You know, they've got a whack of different colors. You can kind of pick one that's going to suit your style. You've got different torso sizing, and they also have a guide on how to size your torso. So definitely check that out if you're looking into it. And then you pick the size of your hip belt. So, you know, we've all got different size waists, so you just pick the hip belt that's going to fit you. You even pick your different shoulder straps. So they've got the J curve, which is traditionally more geared towards male backpackers, and then they have the S curve, which is a little bit better for female backpackers. And then they give you the option for embroidery if you want to add a little bit more customization to your pack. And if you want to get even a little bit more fancy with the customization of your Ohm 2.0 backpack, you can add different color options to every different panel and pick different fabrics. Now, the Ohm 2.0 is a roll top backpack, so it is a top loading pack. So you've got these two little clips on either side. You open up and then you open the roll top enclosure, and on the inside is just one massive gaping pocket. You get your gear loaded in, you just roll the top up, or you can either clip these straps down to the little buckles on the side of the pack, or you can even just fold it up over the top and have your pack close like that. You have a strap with a buckle that will come over the top and snap together for helping keep the load more secure, and you can also attach a little bit of gear to the outside of the pack. If you're someone like myself who backpacks with your dog, you can attach your dog's sleeping pad to the top of the pack. Great way to store it. Coming down each side of the backpack, you've got this non-stretchy cordage and a couple little cord locks here you can plug, and it'll just cinch the side of the pack down and helps keep all your gear secure inside so it's not bouncing around. And on the front of the pack, you've got these two little tool attachment loops. It's just a little loop with a slider, and then down at the bottom you have one as well. Great spot for storing extra trekking poles. One of my favorite features on most ultralight backpacks is these stretchy mesh outer pockets. Just a great spot, you know, for storing a crap load of gear, gear that, you know, you don't mind if it gets wet, gear that you want really easy access to, like your rain jacket. Now on the side of the pack, you have these two massive water bottle pockets. They are really easy to get bottles in and out of. You know, I've never had any issues getting my water bottles in, even with two bottles in there. They're really easy to get in and out, really handy. These things are huge. You know, you can store your cook pot and stit pad and a whole bunch of gear in these outside pockets. They are massive. You also have this shock cord with a keeper that just helps cinch the pocket down. So it just helps secure some of your gear on the inside of that pocket so it's not going to fall out. And the last spot where you're going to find storage on the pack is the hip belt pockets. Now they are pretty good size hip belt pockets. The pockets on this pack are pretty big. They are fantastic for storing stuff like snacks, and I like storing my wallet and my keys inside there. I can fit my cell phone in here pretty easily. The hip belt on the pack is very, very padded. It does carry weight very well, very, very comfortable, as are the shoulder straps. They are quite padded, very, very comfortable. I have carried up to a 35-pound load in this pack just to kind of see how it handled, and it actually carried very comfortably at 35 pounds, even though they say the total suggested capacity for the pack is no more than 30 pounds. Your mileage may vary, just depends on, kind of your different comfort thresholds, but so far I've had no issues carrying over 30 pounds up to 35 with the hip belt and suspension system on the Ohm 2.0. The hip belt is actually adjustable where you can slide it up and down. You can kind of see this nice lumbar support it's got here, and it's just a hook and loop, like a really strong like Velcro on the inside, and you can just slide your hand through here and break that hook and loop, and then you could slide the hip belt up or down depending on where exactly you want to get that to sit. Sternum strap, which is pretty standard on most backpacks, just helps pull these shoulder straps a little bit more together and helps get that load a little more comfortable on you. A really nice feature that the Ohm 2.0 has is load lifters. Now you've got these straps that go from your shoulder strap to the top of the pack, and you can pull those, and what that'll do is that'll pull the load tighter to your body and pushes that load down and helps transfer that weight directly to your hips instead of on your shoulders, and it's not kind of pulling you backwards. So far I absolutely love the backpack. There's really not a whole lot that I would change on it. The Rollback 400, it's not waterproof, but it is pretty water resistant. I've had this out in a couple rainstorms and I didn't actually notice any, seepage or any kind of water leaking through the pack, but I do still use a pack liner with this pack. There are a couple things that if I was ordering another Ohm 2.0, I would change up. The first thing that I would change if I was going to get another Ohm 2.0 is the strap here on the top. Now, there's nothing wrong with the strap itself. It does work fine. Like I said, I use this for securing my dog's sleeping pad to the top of the pack. But one thing that I would change if I was getting another one is I would actually have them put two straps instead of one, so kind of have the straps come from either side where the load lifters hook up, just to have just two separate points, just to have that load a little bit more secure. Kind of my next nitpicky thing is actually with the side compression cordage. I would just make it a little bit longer. Now that's something that I might end up doing myself. I've got some yellow Zingit at home, and I might actually just pull this cordage out and just add a longer piece of Zingit to there. Something I thought about is being able to stick Wanda's sleeping pad in the side and just see how that works out for me, is carrying it down the side. But with the compression cordage as it is, there's just not enough room for me to get her sleeping pad in there. So that's probably something that I'm going to end up changing out, is just make the cordage on the side just a little bit longer. My last gripe with the Ohm 2.0 is actually the hip belt pockets. Now, like I previously said, the hip belt pockets are a good size. You can fit your phone and a bunch of snacks and that kind of stuff in there. But that's kind of about all I can fit in my hip belt pockets. And doing the YouTube thing, filming out on trail, I do tend to have a little bit more gear that I want to have up front, have easy access to. Something I'm actually going to end up looking into in the near future is just kind of one of those like front carry camera bags, kind of like the Hilltop Packs camera bags, something like that. Just, the ability to have a little bit more gear up front for the filming and YouTube aspect of things. But that's just kind of a really nitpicky thing. If I was just simply doing backpacking and, not worrying about filming and that kind of thing out on trail, the hip belt pockets would be more than sufficient for me. Like I said, they are big, but just for the YouTube aspect of things, they're just not quite enough. Now, if you're interested in seeing all the gear that you can fit in the Ohm 2.0, I've recently done a full backpacking gear loadout for myself and my dog Wanda. All of our gear that we carried inside this bag, and I'll fire that right here for you so you can check that out when you're done with this video. And as always, I'm Matty. Thank you so dang much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.